Hi everyone, I'm Elizabeth. I'm an educator at the Science Center, and today we have some special guests from Discover Cayuga Lake who are going to be doing some stream monitoring, and we're going to be releasing some of the young trout from the Science Center into our stream here. So we're so glad you can join us. If you want to follow along and do some data collection of your own, there is a stream observation data sheet on in the comments on the Facebook page, and so you can definitely follow along with that as well. All right, good morning. Can everyone hear me okay? Some nods. Yeah, awesome. All right, so we're here at Cascadilla Creek. This is the same creek that runs by the Science Center, which is why we're releasing our trout here today. But we're up further upstream from the Science Center because, as you may have noticed, there's been a lot of rain recently. All right, and with all that rain, the water level is much higher by the Science Center. It would be about at my waist. All right, so we're here so that we can sit in the stream and look for critters and not have it be really high water. Okay? So I want you guys to observe the stream for a minute. Just look at some features. You know, your trout have been living in a tank, right? So as they're coming out of their tank environment, they're going to be introducing themselves to this new environment. And I want us to think about what that'll look like. When we do trout releases with classes, by the way, hello, South Hill, we like to think about bringing our trout to the stream. Is the stream going to be a healthy environment for our trout? Maybe, maybe not. What are some things that we can look at as we assess our stream to see if it'll be a good environment for them? All right, so maybe we can observe our stream for a little bit, make some observations. What are we seeing?
So I'm going to film right by our feet here so you can see the bottom of the stream.
Is the water fast, slow? Which way is it flowing? Maybe is it deep or shallow here? Are there a bunch of rocks? Not so many?
What are you guys noticing?
It's shallow.
So Aiden says it's shallow. Yep, it is pretty shallow. I'll show you Marina's boots so you can get a little bit of an idea. It's just covering sort of the tops of her ankles there. Is it sunny or shady? What are you guys seeing here? I'm turning around to show you downstream.
There's some shade on the side.
Yeah, some shade on the side, especially over here. Hey, Bill. So we've got some sun in the center there, some shade over at the edges.
All right, awesome. So one of the things I like to talk about is when our trout were in a tank, they had a bottle, right, for oxygen, but they're in a stream now. How are they going to get that air, that oxygen, so they can breathe in the stream, right? Because they're going to breathe the oxygen in the water, okay? So if you look, there's a bunch of rocks. You can see there's some ripple effect of the water going over the rocks, and then you can see little bubbles around them. Those bubbles are oxygen being introduced into the water going over the rocks. All right, so that's going to act like your bubbler in the tank. Pretty cool.
That's awesome. So because it's flowing, it mixes water in as it moves. Cool.
Exactly. The other thing, you guys talked about shade versus sun. Your trout are really going to want both, right, for their new habitat. So the shade is going to give them places to hide, and it's going to be cooler. You remember, your trout like really cold water, okay? And then the sun is going to help them see so that they can see their food sources and they can change and adapt their color. You guys remember we talked about color last week? We had those pictures we created, right? So we're going to take a look again at the stream, and I want you to think, would your trout that you created last week fit okay in this stream environment? All right,
Jay and Corinne were asking, what type of stream is this? What kind of stream is this?
Yeah, so Trey and Corinne, Cascadilla Creek, which flows into Cayuga Lake. And we're actually in a pretty urban part of the stream. I think you can hear a lawnmower going near us. So this has some retaining walls that flow right past the Science Center, a little bit down this way. And we're right in the Fall Creek neighborhood of Ithaca. Does anyone have drawings that they did last time Marina was with us on our trout? Or if you're in our South Hill Friends class, maybe you did some drawing in October about trout coloration. What colors do you think it would be useful for the trout to have to live in this stream environment? Are they going to be bright orange or red, or what are we thinking?
Maybe brown.
Yeah, I'm seeing lots and lots of browns. Now, what if you were underwater looking up towards the light?
Blue, and well, not blue. It would be like white almost.
Yeah, a lighter sort of white color looking up, silvery from the bottom, right? Especially if you think about the light sort of refracting through the water and how that would look. Awesome. All right, we've got some trout here now. We just took some of them out. I'm gonna come on over.
Jacob and Jerome are also wondering what other kind of fish live in this water.
If you guys look, other fish in the water, we'll get some perch, bunch of different stuff. Actually, there's some really cool oysters found by the Science Center on all the types of fish that you'll find around here.
Yeah, if you're looking for a place to go for a walk, you can go on the trail right next to the Science Center. We have some signs all about science by the stream and what lives here in Cascadilla Creek. So you can put on your mask and go out for a walk down there. Have the trout.
What do you guys think about the colors of these trout? Are they going to fit in well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? They've got the same brown color. If you look at the side of it, I don't know if you can see the side of it.
All right, Trey and Corinne are wondering, what do the trout do in the lake?
Yeah, so your trout are gonna, only some trout actually live in the lake. These guys are brown trout, so they'll live in the lake. But not all trout do.
All right, so we've looked from the top and the bottom, and we've decided that they probably have some good camouflage going on.
Yeah, what do you guys think they're using for camouflage? Remember, we had disruptive, confusing, concealing.
Counter shading.
Counter shading, thank you.
So we talked about that difference from the top and bottom.
They got little tar marks. You see those on the sides, right? That's the confusing or disruptive camouflage, right? Emily's mentioning a counter shading from the top and the bottom.
All right, so we looked at that awesome concealing and counter shading and confusing camouflage. And now we're gonna take a look at some of the critters that also live in this creek that our trout might like to eat.
And take a look, here's a tick net here that we use to get some samples of critters, which we would use. So when we take our classes into the water, we've got a bunch of these. We actually spread out into groups and we hold the net and pick around rocks and find critters that way. But there are also some other cool ways that you yourself can find critters right now. One, you can just any old rock. This one's not anything under it. But if you look, you'll start to find things, preferably bigger rocks, tend to have things in them. And Bill and I are going to share later, probably next week, maybe in the summer, we have these leaf kits where we take, say, like a fruit bag, so it's got really fine mesh, and put leaves in them. And then you leave them in the stream for a while, and the critters into the bag inhabit the leaves, and then you can take it out, and you have your own little habitat that you've created. It has to be in the water because they live in but you have this habitat, and you can actually find critters yourself. All right, macroinvertebrates. All right, so let's take a look at some stuff we've been finding. Anybody know what this is? This guy? Come here. There we go.
Oh, crayfish. Are they?
Yeah, right?
Yep, Jacob and Jerome say crayfish. Someone else said
Nice.
a crayfish.
What about this one? Is this a crayfish?
It's like
Yeah,
a
so crayfish
miniature
look
lobster.
a little like lobsters,
Yeah.
but they're freshwater.
What are you guys doing in this corner? Come on.
Who's this? Is this a
What's this
crayfish?
one? Crazy looking.
Compare.
Anybody? Miss Barley's Cross? Anyone know what this is? Come on, South Hill. Any ideas?
Has anyone ever seen one of those? Have you ever gone looking around in a stream and turned over some rocks and seen something like that? It looks like Cecilia.
No. There's so many. Like, I went to a camp once, and so many were there. So it's
Oh,
hard.
all right. So
not
you've
to-
seen them before. Anybody else know what they are?
So this would be a great time to consult that macroinvertebrates key if you haven't opened it yet.
Yeah, if you go into the chat, there's something called
Another one on the rock
Stream
wall.
Insect Key. Yeah, if you go back in the chat and you can find the Stream Insect Key. Not all these things are insects, but some of them are. And that
We
Stream
have,
Key will show you all the
we have
different
one.
possibilities.
So if you guys take a look, have a whole bunch of different things. Oops, I have a shadow. All right, so if you're looking shell, no shell. All right, let's think. Doesn't look like it has a shell, but maybe it does. Come down here. No, it's not any of those, so it's definitely over here. Doesn't look like any of these, right? So it's got legs. If it has 10 plus legs, it's in the crayfish category, but it looks a little different, right? So if we go over here,
How many legs do you all see on this little duber? Yeah, Trey and Corinne are counting 6. That's what I'm seeing too.
Yeah. So 3 pairs of legs, 6 total. All right. What do you guys think? Does it have a tail?
Does it have a tail?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a tail.
All right. So 1 or 2 tails. That puts it as an alderfly, a stonefly, or a mayfly larvae. How many tails are you guys seeing? 1, 2, or 3?
How many little bits coming off the back there? Yep, 2. Awesome.
All right, that makes it a stonefly. All right. You also can tell it's a stonefly because if you look at that guy, he's gonna have gills coming out of his abdomen where he's breathing, and he's gonna have to do little push-ups so that he can take his air in through his gills because the water's not moving. It's gonna be harder for him to get oxygen.
There's our second stonefly. It's moved away from the rock, so now we can see it a little bit more. It's lost its camouflage.
All right,
Nice.
awesome. We got some other little cool critters over here.
So someone asked what the trout are going to eat in the stream a little bit ago. They would eat some of these things that we're looking at, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So if something is small enough and they can get it, they'll eat these.
Yeah, so as they're growing, they're gonna expand the size of what they're eating, but they might start with some of these little freshwater shrimps. If you guys can see those okay.
Yeah.
Here too.
Freshwater shrimps.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and then they might move on to eating something like a stonefly larvae, or maybe even a mayfly larvae. We had some of those in the sample, but we couldn't pull them out.
And here, what do we have?
Oh yeah, that guy.
This one looks green. Can you see that this is green on your screen?
Yeah, it's green. That's weird.
Yeah, it's cool. Gives you an idea about where it's hanging out, maybe in some algae areas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so should we try to identify?
What do you guys think? I don't know if you can see this that well. Is it? Yeah, you're right. It is a little green. All right, so I think it's kind of a greenish color.
I'm thinking that we might be looking at a caddisfly here, because that's the
There you go
one
for comparison.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the one on the sheet that says it might be green.
Corinne would like to share a trout picture really quick.
Oh, is this from the other week? That would be great. I would love to see if your trout could survive in this habitat.
Ah, very cool. Yeah, that's very nice. Do you think your trout is going to live in our stream here, Corinne?
Yeah,
Yeah, you think so?
probably.
All right. I think it might too, right? Because those colors look like they could work in our little stream here. Awesome. All right, let's see what else we have in there.
Oh, cool.
Oh, okay.
All right,
We're gonna
we're gonna grab some of those smaller macroinvertebrates and see if we can get our trout to eat. This is a new one. What is it? A Helgramite?
Oh, man.
I just learned about that one for the first time. That's cool. This is a great day for stream exploration. Oh yeah.
Get this
Ones.
leaf off of
Love these. That's a nice juicy meal for a big fish.
You guys know what this is?
Looks like a tiny eel or something like that.
Yeah, close. It's actually like a worm, like underwater worm, a normal worm. All right.
Oh.
Pretty cool, because then if you look at this, it looks super different, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's a good size comparison there. This one's pretty big. There's my thumb.
Whoa.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to try to give our trout.
Oh, this is a crane fly larva.
Oh, yes. Crane fly larva. Right. So a lot of these things that we're looking at are in their larval stage. And so they will not spend their whole life in water, 1 to 3 years, unless they get eaten first, and then they will spend their whole life in water. All right. So we're gonna check out, we have some of our trout from the Science Center here in a bucket. So we're gonna see if we can get them to eat. I'm gonna try to lower you guys in.
Ready?
And Bill is putting in a caddisfly larva.
Caddisfly. We'll see if he wiggles enough to get attention. Our trout are a little nervous because they're not used to being in a bucket.
Yeah, so no takers on the caddisfly yet.
All right, I'm gonna put in a worm. They're
See that worm falling? Yeah.
Oh. Well, they were.
I
They
made
were
them
interested
nervous with
before.
my camera.
Yeah, they don't want to eat
Camera
that.
shy.
We all get a little bit camera shy. But we did have them eating before, so that's a good sign that they'll be able to find some food in this stream. And they've got the shade that they need and the sun that they need. and the oxygen and the camouflage opportunities. So are we thinking this is a good release spot? Yeah, what do you guys think? Should we give our fish a go out here?
I have something to add.
Awesome.
So as we're looking at assessing how healthy our stream is when we're with our classes or right now, we like to look at things like, did we find a crayfish? Yes. Okay, so that means the stream is good, but crayfish pretty much survive anywhere. So it's an indicator that the stream is going to be really healthy. If we're finding things like stonefly larvae and mayfly larvae, it's a really good indication the stream is very healthy because they're very pollution and they're unlikely to be able to survive being highly polluted or unhealthy. All right, so we found some stonefly larvae, and I can show you one, but I did find a mayfly larvae in the big bucket over here. So we're able to say that this stream is quite healthy for our trout. It's going to be a good release spot for them. I think we might be ready.
Because trout are pretty sensitive to pollution as well, right?
They can be, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
All right, it looks like Corinne has something to share.
Trouts have to live, like every fish has to live in the water. If they don't get in the water, they can't breathe and they'll die. And so that's why fish are in water, so they can breathe and so they can stay in the water so they can survive.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And Marina already taught us about how this flowing water helps to mix in some oxygen for our fish. Awesome. All right, so we're gonna grab some of our fish. We have a nice release spot picked out.
You want part of this, Bill? Grab part of the fish. All right. Bill and I are each grabbing fish.
All right.
Whatever you want. I'll hand them to you. When you're
All right.
I don't know. Go over to our little release spot here.
Sorry for the. All right.
All right, so we have a nice little pool here where we can release our trout.
Try to do this one.
All right, so we're gonna start with this one. We've already adjusted the temperature. Come on, guys. They don't want to leave. Out.
This water is pretty cold, but trout like that.
55.
55. Oh, you took the temp. Can you guys see them? They've gone pretty quickly. They've darted. There's some hanging out, but they're really well camouflaged. I can barely see them. I'd be surprised if you can.
All right, we're gonna release
There's
these
a
ones
big
now.
one.
See if they'll swim out. Come on, guys.
Trey and Corinne, did you have a question?
Going over towards Bill.
See what these guys do?
All right, now we're gonna put our big.
Yeah, what's your question?
Bye, fish.
Thanks for sharing part of your life with us.
Can trouts live in any different kinds of lakes and stuff, or just the lakes that they can stay in?
All right, so Corinne is wondering if trout can live in any sort of water or only special lakes that they came from or streams.
Oh. Well, first of all, can you guys see those trout okay in the water? They're all camouflaging pretty well, but they're hanging out right underneath the rock, hiding, sheltering. All right. Yep. Trout need fresh water to live, so like a lake or a stream. And there are some trout that won't live in a lake. So brook trout, which is actually our state fish, is not going to live in a lake. It's going to spend its entire life in streams. And if your stream has a waterfall like we have here in Ithaca, the brook trout are going to live above the waterfall before it goes down towards the lake. But brown trout, like these guys, aren't that picky. They'll live in a lake, they'll live in a stream. They're pretty well adapted to any environment that has fresh water and is relatively clean and healthy. All right, they do really like cold water, so they do well in the Northeast. Up here, they do well in Canada and further north.
All right, Trey and Corinne, do you have another question going off of that?
When trouts get released, do trouts make babies?
They do, yes.
So we actually got these trout as eggs.
As little babies, and then they grew up, all right? And eventually, they're gonna grow, and after 1 to 3 years as an adult, they'll reproduce and have babies too, and then they'll have little trout. All right. I do want to say, Discover Cayuga Lake on our Facebook page will be releasing some brook trout later today up by Lower Freeman Park. So if you want to check that out, that'll be on the Discover Cayuga Lake Facebook page.
Awesome. And Josephine is saying that she saw the trout grow every month. So from when they were eggs to alvins, when they had those little yolk sacs still attached to them, to when they started to swim up and eat on their own, as they grew into these fingerlings that we've just released. So that's awesome that you've been with them their whole life. But
South Hill too, we had them in classrooms all around the area. So they've been taking care of their trout since the beginning.
yeah, lots of you have gotten on their whole life cycle journey up to this point. And so we hope some of them will survive to adulthood and come back and lay their eggs in our creeks and streams around here. All right, so like Marina said, tune in to Discover Cayuga Lake's Facebook to see her again later today. Is that at noon?
Around noon.
Around
All right, we'll record it too.
afternoon. All right. And if you want to visit with our adult brook trout, you can check out the Science Center's live stream on YouTube. We have some adult brook trout in more permanent residence at the Science Center, and the camera is tuned on them right now if you want to take a look. All right. Thanks everyone so much for joining us. I hope you all can get outside a little bit today.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Bill.
Bye.
Thank you, Marina. Bye, everybody.
Bye.